Hello and welcome to Storyteller Tarot. Today's sponsor is Den of the Wolf by A.Z. McLean. Vincent Artemis is alone, and it's his own fault. He's spent a lifetime, 4 lifetimes in fact, focused on revenge. Now every bridge is burned and every ally is gone. There's no place left for him. Saren is never alone. The lives of many depend on her. It is rewarding and exhausting, always putting herself last, never slowing down until the day Vincent appears in her life. Deep in the mountains, in the den of young wolves, the two are hunted and forced into hiding. But can Artemis finally find redemption, acceptance, and love? Or will his own guilt ruin his last true chance of happiness? If you enjoyed that brief description of Den of the Wolf by A.D. McLean, stick around at the end of today's reading for a short excerpt. Okay, so let's dig in and see what we've got today. Right off the bat, I'm seeing here we've got spring. See your seeds grow. So that's a new beginning, life, change, a new season, springing into that new phase of your life. We've also got the Death and Rebirth card, number 13. So we've got another card about change, about new beginnings. The inside of the hood here is a bright card. We've got it's a night sky, but look at that light that's over the trees there. Lots of bright light. It's a positive future. Even though you've got that shroud of death, there's this light on the inside once you go through it. Also over here from our Spirit Animal Oracle, we drew the Porcupine Spirit card number 48. Time for Beginner's Mind. Now, this card talks about seeing things with the curiosity of a beginner, as though you're experiencing them for the first time. So you want to have that innocence and the curiosity and not be confined by the old stories that have a hold on you. Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you've been seeking, whether it is in relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need right now to co-create what you desire. Speaking of co-creation, we have the Magician. That's a powerful manifestation card here. So we are taking that childlike curiosity to co-create our dreams and make them into a reality. We have our Justice card. Now, justice is about balance, fairness, objectivity, perspective, accountability. Okay. So this card is about learning from your past experiences, not just the good, but also learning from the bad. Growing, like we grow in the spring. So you're growing from your experiences, looking at things honestly and fairly, and looking at with clarity at your motivations and your intentions, being realistic about what it is that you want and how you want to get there. So we've got the curiosity, seeking the truth, seeking a way forward. We've got the Justice card here with the balance. Temperance here telling us to also have things in balance. harmony, keeping ourselves from going too far to one extreme or another. Patience. Where are you focusing your energy right now? Are you overdoing it on one thing or another? Do you need to put more attention into some other aspect of your life? We need to have some sort of balance. Just like justice here is balanced. We need to have that balance within ourselves as well. So balance in our actions, balance in our perspective and how we think about our past, in how we look at the things that we're doing and making our choices. So it's about not being too drastic, too extreme in one way or another. Seeking equilibrium. Now we've got here our Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is about choices, fantasies, wishful thinking, looking at your path forward, thinking about it without knowing the full picture, your options. So this card is about daydreaming about your future. Similar to the porcupine spirit, looking at things from a new perspective. But this one, it's looking at your choices, looking at the options that you have, the things that you could do. But you can be overwhelmed when there's too many choices. And you can also feel this encouragement to just move forward with one of them without thinking it through. Just pick the one that appeals to you. Your desire to choose the one correct or perfect path can complicate or muddle your decision, because there's no way to know everything that's going to come forth from these cups. You don't know where all of these choices are going to lead. You can think about it, you can do your planning, but you don't know for sure where everything is going to lead. And you don't want to get so caught up in looking at the shiny choice, the easy choice, and going in that direction when that might not be the right choice for you. Sometimes the challenging options might hold more reward in the end. So you need to be honest with yourself in discerning what your heart really wants, where you really want to go, and what choice is the best for you. Finding what you truly desire, what's going to be that stepping stone that's going to help you to get to where you are. We've got the Ace of Swords. This card is clarity. It gives us an aha moment, truth, awareness, the stroke of genius. This is your clarity. So you've been sitting here trying to make your choice, not sure where your heart is leading you, and you get that aha moment. You get this clarity that tells you which choice that you need to make in order to manifest your desired outcome, in order to get to that end that you're looking for. We also have one other card that we pulled here with our beginning draw. We have the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups is about friendship, celebrating, creativity, growth, healing, a period of happiness and celebration, feeling rejuvenated, both physically and emotionally. Positive outcomes to a situation, especially healing. So you've got creativity is flourishing. You've got the mutual support of your friends, of your family. So again, it's a new beginning. It's the celebration of that new beginning. You've got everyone together, coming together to start that fresh new beginning. All of the creativity, all of the excitement, all of the joy that comes from that new start. You've had the death and the rebirth, and you've come to that fresh new start. We have a few numbers here today. Number 18, number 1, and 40. So if you've been seeing any numbers lately, this could be a sign for you. We've got a 3 here on the 3 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, 11 on Justice, 11 on the Justice card. We've also got a 1 on the Magician, 14 there on Temperance, 13 on Death, let's see what story these cards are telling us today. Once upon a time, there was a 7 of Cups. He needed to make a change in his life, but he wasn't sure which way to go. There were so many options, they were confusing. He needed a strong foundation so that he could trust his instincts. But first, he had to balance out how he was choosing to spend his time and his energy. He needed to look back on all of his past experiences, the good and the bad, balancing out all of the lessons so that he could know which way to go. He realized that he needed to see things from a new perspective. He needed to look at life through the lens of a beginner, the curiosity of a child, seeing things for the first time. With this fresh perspective, he gained clarity, and then he knew what he needed to do. He learned that he had the power all along. He had the strength to make the changes. It was within him the entire time. So, he made the change. He ended the old cycle and started fresh with the new. Beginning the new cycle, allowing all of the wonderful things to grow, and celebrating with all of his friends and family and everyone who was important to him. Before we get to today's excerpt from Den of the Wolf, we're going to draw a card from the Crystal Sound Healing Oracle deck. Oh, there we go. And it looks like we've got today card number 44, Halo Gold, Dead Sea Salt, Platinum Iron, Enthusiasm, Spontaneity, and Protection. Okay. According to the book, this card holds the frequency of enthusiasm and spontaneity. It encourages you to connect with your heart's desire. Just like today's reading talked about connecting with your instincts. Halo Gold activates your high brain centers and your solar plexus, enhancing courage, confidence, and self-esteem. The salt elements protect you and clears unwanted energies, thoughts, and behaviors. The iron element grounds you and activates wisdom and vitality, enriching the blood. Platinum balances the emotional body and the entire chakra system. So this card is showing you a way to be everything you are with full permission and complete acceptance. So we are going to listen to the sound that comes along with this card. And now for today's excerpt from Den of the Wolf by A.D. McLean. Perusing the pile of recently delivered books yet to be shelved, Saren pulled out a new fantasy novel from one of her favorite authors and dug into its pages. She was halfway through the second chapter when the bell at the door rang. Pulling her feet off the counter, she smoothed her skirt down and smiled. "Welcome to the book den," she called. A tall man approached. His reddish-brown hair was neatly kept, shaved short on the sides, only slightly taller on the top. He wore a bright blue shirt with carefully pressed collar and sleeves secured by simple silver bar cufflinks, and his pants were custom-fit black slacks. Her fingers slipped from her book, losing her place. She hardly noticed. The breath caught in her throat, her eyes locked with his. He appeared equally shaken. I'm Saren. She held out a hand. He took her hand, his strong fingers wrapping around her blue-tipped ones. I'm Vincent, he said with a pause. You may call me Vincent. Saren quirked an eyebrow. You sure about that? The man shrugged. I haven't gone by that in a long time, but it is my name. His voice was soft but powerful. She shivered. Serenity. My name's Serenity, but everyone calls me Saren. Why had she said all that? She never introduced herself by her full name. It's a pleasure to meet you, Serenity. She melted at the sound of her name on his lips. His hand still held hers, she noted. Can I help you find something? He crinkled his forehead and squinted speculatively. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. His head tilted in that way Gavin's often did when he was listening to something she couldn't hear. Saren listened closely, but she only heard the hum of her refrigerator's motor in the kitchen. Vincent sniffed the air. An interesting place you have here. She bristled, eyes narrowing suspiciously. Saren took in his movements, now watching him closely for an entirely different reason. It was difficult when her body was still focused on how well his clothes fit his toned body. Casually, she pushed her arm out so that one of the books fell off the counter. Vincent caught it easily, handing the book back to her. Thank you, she said. Perhaps it would help you figure out what you're looking for if I showed you around a bit. She stepped around the counter and sucked in a breath, unprepared for how affected she would be by standing next to him. Shaking it off as best she could, Saren led him into the book stacks, absent-mindedly listing genres. Still, she kept her eyes on him. And here's the paranormal section. What's your interest? Cryptids? Ghosts? Werewolves? His eyes snapped to hers. Only then did she notice how closely they were standing. His arm wrapped around her waist. His hand was pressed flat against her back. Even if they hadn't been completely alone in the store, no one could see them back here. She made this section private for a reason. Sometimes young wolves heard about them and came looking for the den. She used the books as a test of sorts, to scope out potential werewolves. It was hardly necessary anymore. Years of this work had trained her senses to pick out certain things most humans ignored. She knew their mannerisms, their reflexes, and their heightened senses. She had to. It kept them all safe. Do werewolves interest you? Her hands pressed against his chest, and she felt the strong bundle of muscles there. His fine clothes hid an impressive physique. At the moment, he lowered his head, his eyes glazed over. I find myself more interested in humans. A human, he clarified. She lifted her chin, and he closed the distance, his lips pressed against hers. I hope you enjoyed today's excerpt from Den of the Wolf by A.D. McLean. You can find more information about this and all of the other books by A.D. McLean in the description for the video. So have a good day, and remember, be the you God sees.